What's up, everybody? On the podcast today, we are honored to have Healthy Gamer GG, also known as Dr. K if you're not Indian, and if you are Indian, Dr. Alok Kanoja. He is a Harvard-trained psychiatrist, maybe a monk, judging by the way he's sitting. I believe him. And the single best source to address mental health in today's doom-scrolling society. He's here to fix Alex's autism, my anger, and Mark's paralyzing fear of conflict. Guys, give it up for Dr. Alok Kanoja.
Hey.
Give it up for him. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up.
How are you, sir?
So autism, paralyzing fear of conflict, and
Just general anger and just
Got
hold
it.
on.
Okay.
I don't even know I'm angry.
Speed run this thing.
Yeah, that's just scratching
But
the
if I
surface.
got a grudge, it ain't. I'm not letting go of it. Like Andrew, who's normally in this seat, he's like, as I've gotten more successful, especially if I get more successful than the person I didn't like, I let go of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Okay.
I still am like, nah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we talking about that?
No,
or
we
I-
talk about it later. But
Yeah.
okay, so here's
Fix him.
they have a real problem with this, even though I'm right 95% of the time. These guys can't handle that. But point is, I listened to your Diary of a CEO. I thought it was awesome. I think you're awesome. I've listened to a couple of your videos. But I feel like, and I was just saying this to you, I feel like you're in a different place than you were a year ago when you recorded. You said I've connected more to my spirituality. I'm looking at, you're sitting in half lotus.
Okay.
You got the Rudraksha on. I don't think you had that on. You were in a
did
suit.
not.
You were
Yeah.
like, now you're in the black tee. What's going on?
So I went through a midlife crisis a couple of years ago, or
Ooh.
started a midlife crisis. We'll see whether I'm done or not.
Okay.
And this is something that I think first thing that a lot of people don't understand is that it's like developmentally appropriate. So there are periods of time in our lives where we have to go through crises. I think we're seeing a lot of quarter life crises now. The classic perception of a midlife crisis is like, dude is in his 40s, check. Buys a sports car, like dyes his hair, maybe is going through a divorce or something like that. So I think we tend to, like, first of all, pathologize it a lot. We say that this is a bad thing. But I think that many people, there are periods in your life where, like, you are operating based on a certain strategy. And then you reach a certain point and you're like, that strategy is not working anymore.
There's a ceiling on it.
Or it's just like you feel like you're taking all the right steps and you sort of end up in the wrong place. Right? Which is oftentimes how we like live our lives, right? So we're both brown.
Yeah.
And so when I was growing up, it's like, Alok, you're going to be a doctor. you know?
You did it. I did not.
Yeah. So, but I did it super late. So I started med school at 28.
Yeah.
And so I remember going home for Christmas one day and I was like 24, 25 at the time. And, one of my friends from high school, I was like, hey, what are you up to? And she's like, I'm in my first year of ophthalmology residency. And she's like, what are you up to? And I'm like, I'm applying to medical school for the third time.
Yeah. Oh, you had applied 3 times.
Oh yeah. I got rejected from 120 medical schools.
Wow.
Yeah.
See,
It's not
cautious.
easy.
It's not too late, man.
My mom is going to hear this and call me.
Absolutely. Right. So and that's what happens, right? We joke about it.
Yeah.
But that's really what happens, especially like men are, taught to be a particular thing. And then you do all of those things. And you end up in a place where you're kind of like, what am I doing here? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So was somewhat unhappy, which is kind of ironic because I was successful.
Yeah.
But then as like stuff started happening, it sort of felt like it was growing out of control in a good way. So I started streaming back in 2019 and sort of like blew up during the pandemic.
Right.
And then a couple years later, we started this company and we have like this research division and we have this coaching program and, I'm going on these podcasts and stuff. And I was like, I don't know if this is actually what I want to do.
Oh.
Right. So what happens is like opportunities start coming towards you.
Yeah.
And I think a big lesson that I've learned is like walking away from good things is how you achieve peace and freedom in life.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. So you're like, someone sends you like a good opportunity and you're like, oh, I should really take advantage of this.
Yeah.
But is that really what you want to do?
Yeah.
So went through sort of a midlife crisis, had a lot of problems in my marriage at the time too. I was just unhappy. And I think my wife is awesome. I think she dealt with it really well. And then started to really engage in spiritual practice. So was coasting for a long time. So I spent about 7 years studying to become a monk. And then basically like went to med school and all that good stuff. And then was like in residency.
What is studying to become a monk?
So when I was failing out of college, so now I'm 19 years old, just finished my sophomore year, have like a 2.0 GPA. My parents had tried kind of everything. They'd tried like tough love. They'd tried like, being loving and supportive, but I was just playing video games for 16 to 20 hours a day, joined a fraternity. I mean, it was great. Like, I actually don't regret it at all. I think if you want to, if you want to screw up, your 20s is the time to do it.
That is true.
And I also think it's really weird because, like, especially like a lot of Indian people, they'll be like, oh, like I gotta like get all my stuff done, and I'm like super like type A, right?
Yeah.
And so the earlier I start working, the earlier I can retire. But you're trading your 20s for more free. You're giving up the freedom in your 20s for more freedom in your 60s.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a good trade.
No, it's not. I think we are taught by our parents, and they didn't mean to, but we're kind of taught success is one metric. It is financial and academic and whatever, and that's it. Yeah. There's not like a 360-degree view of what success is for us. Like, success is being a great father. Like, if you're a billionaire and not a great father, I think most Indians would still be like, look at that guy. But most Indian parents, or at least we would look at that as that successful. But now I'm learning that's failure. If my wife hates me and I have kids who resent me, it don't matter what I do in my career. I failed.
Yeah, so I think that's a virtue of the world they grew up in, and a virtue of the world that we grow up in, right? So my parents, emigrated from India, and like my dad, grew up living in like a 8x10 room with like 9 people. So they would sleep like outside the house in the stairwell. Like, so they'd put out like not sleeping bags, but godless. Yeah, you know what that is. But they'd put out like basically like their beds. They would sleep like in the stairwell, like every, area where you kind of climb up and then, you kind of turn around. So it'd be like 1 or 2 people sleeping there.
Right.
And so they grew up in a situation where like success was survival. Yeah. Like financial success, financial stability.
And security.
Security, absolutely. So, my grandmother would tell me that like we'd run out of money on the 25th of every month. And like out of money. And so you have to figure out how to like stretch for like 5 or 6 more days. So I think that they grew up with a set of value system that was sort of determined by the system around them. I think the reason I don't know about y'all, but I'm making assumptions about Akash, but I can't imagine your path to being a comedian was like
looked upon
easy.
Favorably.
Yeah,
no.
Right.
No.
And so we have to learn a different system, and I think that's why people are struggling so much, because like the rules that applied 20 or 30 years ago about how to become successful, at the top of the list is go to college, get a good job. Right now, that doesn't work anymore. Like you show up with a ton of debt, jobs are being replaced by AI. Like 50% of people under the age of 30 are living at home. Buying a house is like not really a possibility for most people of like the Gen Z millennial generation. So like all the old rules don't work. And so we have to discover a new set of rules. And that's what I really tried to start helping people with on the internet. I realized we got far away from the original question.
Dude, not at all.
Oh, yeah. So just before we get too far, so you said you were doing bad in school, and then that's when you like left practice?
So my dad, I still remember the conversation. We'd been talking for like 3 hours, and it was like 1 a.m, and he was like, Alok, you need to go to India.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's your solution to everything.
Yeah. Well, so I think it was a good one. So I was like, why? And he's like, you just need to go. And that was the one time in my life that I just like listened to him. And so about 10 days later, I think 8 days later, I was, getting on a plane and then went to a part of India that I've never been to before. Don't speak the language there, got picked up. Like, so I remember like walking out of the airport and like, I didn't understand like who was picking me up.
Where in India?
Bangalore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I still remember like there was no one with a sign or anything. Like I just walked out of the airport and I was just like there waiting with my suitcases, and there was a bunch of people milling about. I don't know if y'all have ever been to India. And then eventually everyone left. Yeah. And there was like one guy there. And he walked up to me and we like kind of shook hands. He didn't tell me his name and he started walking and I started following him. And it's like, he's there to pick up someone. He doesn't know who he's there to pick up. I'm there to be picked up. So I just got in a car with this stranger and we started driving.
Sorry, this might not be important. Why'd you go to Bangalore? To me, it's the most Western city, so maybe that's why I would go.
So I was going to an ashram outside of Bangalore.
Oh, okay,
so I flew into Bangalore.
Okay, got it.
And
this is like reverse Home Alone. Like instead of them leaving you behind, they just
absolutely. So they just sent me, right? And I was like desperate. I mean, I had tried so hard to like get control of my life. Like I didn't understand, I remember like every morning I would set my alarm clock and like my alarm would go off at like 7 a.m. Because I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I started signing up for 8 a.m. classes because I thought like, okay, like if I sign up for an 8 a.m. class, then I have to wake up, right?
Yeah.
And then if I get up early, then I can take control of my day.
I tried that one semester. It didn't work.
Yeah, right. It's so interesting. So I like would try to set up all these structures around me to like get me to do the things that I couldn't make myself do. And that just failed catastrophically. The alarm clock would go off. I'd turn it off. I'd go back to sleep. What I discovered, interestingly enough, is the best way to sleep through my alarm clock and avoid all the guilt and shame was to go to sleep at like 5. Then I was so dead tired.
Sleep. Yeah.
So dead tired that it feels impossible to get out. And I'd just be like, okay, I'll get out of bed tomorrow. Then since I have this morning class load, I wake up around 1 or 2 o'clock. If I get my ass out of bed, I can go to like one class at 2:30, but I missed the whole day. Like might as well just start fresh tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then the cycle would continue.
Yeah.